Back-to-back world champion Dodger baseball on Sportsnet LA is brought to you by Carl's Jr. Carl's Jr.'s new Western Bacon Chicken Sandwich with freshly hand-breaded all-white meat, just $5.99 for a limited time. And by your Southern California Lexus dealer, who invites you to test drive a Lexus today. Yamamoto makes his return to Rogers Center in Toronto and tries to pitch the Dodgers to another series win inside Rogers Center. Temperature down into the 20s today in Toronto, but nice and cozy inside here. Ready to begin the middle game in this 3-game series, and the offense has been on fire. 45 runs the first 4 games of the road trip. That's the most runs that a team scored over the first 4 games of a trip since 1900, when the Phillies and the Reds both did it in that 1900 season. They had 14 home runs in those 4 games. They lead all of baseball in home runs. They've hit with runners in scoring position. They've done just about everything that you would hope for from an offense. We take a look at the lineup here for Game 2. It's presented by your SoCal Helpful Honda dealers. Ohtani, Tucker, and Will Smith back in there. Freddie Freeman at first base sitting cleanup. Then Teoscar Hernandez, who started the scoring yesterday with the first of those 5 home runs. Pages in center. Muncie's at third. The big change just minutes ago. Miguel Rojas scratched from the lineup. Hesong Kim has plugged in at shortstop. We're going to get details on that as soon as we can. Alex Freeland is the second baseman and 9-hitter. And we actually have gotten official word why that change happened. Kirsten, you've got the detail.
Thanks, Joe. Yeah, the Dodgers have now announced that Miguel Rojas was scratched from the lineup to tend to a family matter, Joe.
Okay, Kirsten. Yeah, more details to follow. As Kevin Gausman takes the mound, gets ready to make his 3rd start of the season. We got a bunch of history we're talking about. Historic Dodger offense, but an historic start to this year for Gausman. He's the first guy ever to start his season with back-to-back games of 10-plus strikeouts and no walks.
He's very hot right now. He was hot in the NLCS, where he went 2-1 with an ERA of 2, but the World Series was a little less than that, and that could have helped Toronto knock out the Dodgers, but didn't. And Gausman this year, he's beat 2 really bad clubs right now. He's beaten the Athletics and he's beaten the Rockies. He's got a much bigger challenge today. And as you see the location of all 3 of these pitches, kind of middle of the plate, that's kind of the algorithm of where their average has been as far as the location. So for me, they didn't have some hitters that were taking care of his mistakes. Those mistakes might got hit today.
Just a run on 3 hits over 12 innings so far. 21 strikeouts, no walks for the 35-year-old Kevin Gausman. Now the Dodgers 4-0 on this road trip, 8-2 overall after the 14-2 domination yesterday. That was the Blue Jays' 5th consecutive defeat. 2 big problems for the Jays. The offense hadn't been scoring. The starting pitching hasn't gotten him any length. Just 2 innings from Scherzer yesterday, who left with a forearm issue, and only 15 innings total in this 5-game skid for the Jays. So the table's set. Ohtani stands in. Gausman steps through his delivery. Off we go with a splitter on the first pitch, taken downstairs 1-0. Ohtani with a 4th straight multi-hit game yesterday. Homers in 3 of the 4.
Home run yesterday. He has been hitting a few on this road trip. This one slightly to the opposite field. He knew it was gone.
One of the 5 the Dodgers hit yesterday. Fastball misses away, ball 3. 5 yesterday, 21 total this year. That's 6 more than any other team in the majors. Gausman, who didn't walk anybody his first 2 starts, begins this game with a 4-pitch walk to Ohtani.
You take the mound and you have to face Ohtani, and you're thinking, I just want to establish some pitches. I want to get some strikes, got to get my rhythm. It's kind of hard against that guy.
Yeah, you go to bed knowing you got to start tomorrow, but the first guy you're going to face, best of them all. Leadoff man on. Kyle Tucker coming up. He didn't go deep yesterday, but he singled, he walked twice, and he came in to score on all 3. Fouls off the first pitch.
Dodgers will probably be very aggressive on Gausman's fastball. The relationship between the fastball and the split is what makes him real close to an elite pitcher. In a vacuum, the split's really good, but the fastball in a vacuum is solid. It's not elite, but in combination, it makes the fastball elite.
Guys are so worried about that splitter. And that fastball sneaks by him. Gausman in his 14th year, his 5th one here in Toronto. Final year of the contract. Ahead of Tucker 1-2. He's not sure if he'll keep playing. Talked before the season about going through this year, see how it goes, and then deciding from there. Kevin has 2 young daughters. He said they're not going to be young and want to hang out with me forever, so plans to evaluate after the season. His 1-2 to Tucker. Tap back to him. His only play is at first, and there's the first out. Well, Gausman in Game 2 of the World Series had retired 17 straight when this man came to the plate. Will Smith in the 7th inning broke the 1-1 tie for the first of his massive home runs in the World Series.
Quick hips, short arms, and barreled it up.
Max Muncy would homer 2 batters later. Gausman was so close to being so good, but those 2 big swings from Will Smith and Max Muncy. Here's Lucas's throw to third as Ohtani tries to advance, and he's in there. And same thing, Game 6 of the World Series. Gausman was perfect in 5 of the 6 innings, but gave up 3 runs in the 3rd, and he was facing Yamamoto in both of those. So that Game 6 is one that he'll think about for the rest of his life. Said it was the most excited that he's ever been for a game, knowing that he had a chance to pitch the Blue Jays to a World Championship. And then he just kind of trailed off. And rehashing that. Faces Freddie Freeman here with a runner at 3rd and 2 gone in this first inning. Try and get closure. He did something that he's never done. He went back and watched all the games. He listened to all the games. So he'd watch the TV broadcast. He'd listen to the radio broadcast. And he said it was heartbreaking to relive it, but he felt like he kind of needed to go through it again to get over it. His 0-1 pitch misses high. Freeman a homer and a double yesterday, knocked in 3. That's 10 runs batted in for Freddie the last 6 games. Ohtani at 3rd, 2 away. Freeman lifts it to left field for Jesus Sanchez, and the Dodgers unable to take advantage of the leadoff walk. Gausman has scored his top of the 1st. Yamamoto takes it for the bottom of the 1st after this break. George Springer walks to the plate to lead off for the Jays. Dalton Varsho will bat 2nd. Vlad Guerrero Jr. the 3-hitter. Jesus Sanchez gets his first start of this series. Okamoto a couple hits yesterday. Clement at 2nd base hitting 6th. Lucas Jimenez and the rookie catcher Valenzuela to round things out for Toronto against the World Series MVP who won 3 games out of the 4 the Dodgers won in the 25 Fall Classic. Yamamoto to George Springer. Strike 1.
Yama is looking for the precision that he had in the playoffs so far this year. The off-speed stuff has been very good. It's the fastball and the cutter that has been getting hit.
Just foul.
This is the variety of pitches that he throws. You can see the yellow one. That's the slider. It's in a good location. The fastball, 4-seamer is the red one up. That's what he likes that. And the split, the purple one at the bottom, is good. So he's been throwing the ball well, but it's been the fastball and the cutter that's been more to the middle of the plate for him that he's gotten hurt on so far. But neither outing is bad. Both are just solid for his expertise.
Yeah, 2 runs over 6 innings in each. Got the win on opening day and then lost against Cleveland on Wednesday.
Just raised, such a high bar for himself, kind of like Ohtani and others. But he'll jump over it. He's raised the bar, but he'll jump over it. This guy's going to be here for a long time, pitching at a high level.
Is 1-2 to Springer, swung on and missed. Strike 3. Got him with a slider, and he's already halfway to his strikeout total from his last start.
His zone percentage has been down. Location with the fastball and the cutter have been down. But the thing that has been outstanding, the splitter and the slider for sure.
If he and the Dodgers get 7 strikeouts in this game, everybody gets a free Jumbo Jack tomorrow with the purchase of a large drink. Dalton Varsho hitting second for the first time this year. Pops the first pitch off to the left side and out of play. Varsho doubled on a walk yesterday for a Blue Jays offense that scored 10 runs total during this 5-game skid. Without Alejandro Kirk, undergoing thumb surgery, without Addison Barger, who injured both ankles on the same play over the weekend. Yamamoto's 0-1. Splitter fouled off, strike 2.
You mentioned Kirk. He's not behind the plate, of course, tonight, and he was behind the plate for Gausman's 2 exceptional outings, so a little different for Gausman tonight, having Valenzuela back there.
And just his second game in the majors. Much different than having the captain of the Jays and Kirk back there. Yamamoto ahead 0-2. He struck out Springer and now comes home to Varsho, who takes a splitter low. So he won Game 2 of the World Series with a complete game performance. He won Game 6, won over 6 innings. And the next night, the final 8 outs to win Game 7. Picks up right where he left off, striking out the first 2 Jays.
He got 0-2 counts on both of them and put them both away. This is the 2-seamer inside. He started him out, Varsho, with a fastball in, got the foul ball down the left field side, foul. And then he's tried to finish him off and lock him up inside, but got it by him with the movement.
2 outs. He faces Guerrero Jr. with the bases clear. Big rip and a miss on a first pitch cutter. Guerrero was 0 for 3, drew a walk yesterday, and has not caught fire yet. It was looking like during the World Baseball Classic he was just going to keep on going what he did last postseason. But just 1 extra base hit so far this year, and another 0-2 count.
Vladdy has a pretty long stride for a guy who hits as consistently as he does and hits the ball as hard as he does. You really want to change speeds on him, because if he times up that stride with that swing, as powerful it is, you're going to get hurt.
Yamamoto strikes out the side in the first inning. 3 wins in the World Series here last year. 3 strikeouts in the first inning in his return. Springer, Varsho, Guerrero, good morning, good afternoon, good night. On to the second inning we go. No score. Dodgers and Blue Jays, Game 2 of this 3-game series. Well, that 14-run outburst yesterday started with a home run from this guy, Teoscar Hernandez, who's gone deep in back-to-back ball games and is hitting .458 over a 6-game hitting streak.
Don't throw it near the middle of the plate, and it looks like he's handling the high ball real well.
They're just 1 for 10 the first series against Arizona, but since the start of the Cleveland series, he's been much better. At first it was the singles, but we've seen the power start to come. The way Robert Van Scoyoc put it when I asked him today about Teo is he's been chipping away at his best self in the batting cage little by little, getting to where he needs to be. Gausman has him in an 0-2 hole. Now comes back home and strikes him out with a good splitter. That splitter going straight down is exactly what he wants.
Teo takes 2 fastballs, something that in the first inning, after the 4-pitch walk to Ohtani, everybody swung at the first pitch fastball. But Teo took them both, probably been looking for that splitter, but that one he didn't catch up to.
Danny Pages. Hammered down the line. Foul. Jeez. Well, 2 more hits yesterday, 2 more runs batted in. Through 10 games last year, he has 50 hits. 36 this year, he's got 18. Nothing in 2.
When you're really good in BP, they call you a 5 o'clock hitter. This guy's a 7 o'clock hitter. He has been locked in from BP up to game time through the whole game.
Maybe it's just me, but that necklace is getting shinier and shinier every time he comes up. Gausman went with a high fastball and came up empty.
Here we are 10 games and 1 at bat into the season, and I think I've maybe seen him swing poorly 3 or 4 times max. 5 times. Chase under 5 also. Just been so locked in. The game where we thought he was out of sorts, his last 2 at bats, all of a sudden he locked back in.
Chopper to short. Jimenez charges, gets a nice bounce, throws on the run to get in. Well, it's 5 in a row retired by Gausman since he walked Ohtani to open the ball game, and it brings up Max Muncy. The 2 batters after Will Smith homered against Gausman in game 2 to break the 1-1 tie. Muncy hit a home run of his own. That's one of 4 that he's hit against Kevin Gausman. Two hits yesterday, but he did strike out 3 times. And Max is saying before the game that he feels mechanically a little bit off. And at the same time, like, he's been pitched pretty tough on this road trip. But he did say it feels like he's getting close. Made a little tweak with his hands in the cage today. He said it would be indiscernible to anybody that was looking for it, but he can tell. One ball and 1 strike. Gausman deals. Muncy swings and misses.
It's not always the hand position, meaning where the bat is when he's getting ready. Sometimes a little twist of the top hand, a little twist of the bottom hand, and all of a sudden the bat feels a lot different.
And he said as much as it's been frustrating to try and find that mechanically, he has taken some comfort in seeing that he's kept his head above water throughout this. He's hitting .267. He's still been able to get on base, fair amount of walks, without feeling quite right yet. On a 2-2 from Gausman, Muncy pops it up down the third base line. Okamoto's out, and he's got room to finish off a 1-2-3 second. Well, last year was spectacular for Yamamoto, but he just did something he didn't do all of last year, and that is strike out the side in the first inning. And so already 4 strikeouts away from Jumbo Jacks. Scoreless game, bottom of the second inning. Jesus Sanchez to lead things off for the Jays.
He's striking people out in the zone. 7 of his 11 pitches have been in the zone, which is much better ratio than he had his first 2 starts.
Sanchez, who was acquired from Houston this winter, off to a good start with the Blue Jays. Big time power, a lot of swing and miss though. And they're hitting cleanup today. Spent 6 years in Miami, went to Houston for the end of last season. Now the Blue Jays trying to help him get back to his early career swing, where Marlins were really excited about his future. Just never put it all together there. On a 1-1 from Yamamoto, he takes it in the dirt, ball 2. Just missed with the fastball. I remember before Game 7, John Smoltz asking Dave Roberts, "Oh, so I got to imagine it's all hands on deck today besides Yamamoto, right?" And Doc kind of smiled and he said, "It's just all hands on deck." Yamamoto, as soon as Game 6 ended, he went 6 innings, he went to work getting ready for the next day. Dave never assumed that he would be available. But then Yada Sensei, his guy, goes into Dave Roberts and said, "Hey, nothing to worry about. His body's going to be fine. His mind is going to be fine. The stuff will be the same. Let's see how he feels tomorrow, but he should be available." So Yamamoto comes on Saturday before Game 7, throws off flat ground in the outfield. Mark Pryor's out there watching, and he finishes throwing, and he says to Mark, "I don't know how good it's going to be, but I'm ready." And he joined Randy Johnson and Grover Cleveland Alexander, the only guys to do what he did. 6 innings to win Game 6, come back the next day, win Game 7. Sanchez with a fly ball to right field that Kyle Tucker misreads. Sanchez headed to second with a double. Well, Kyle Tucker, who's played spotless defense for the Dodgers so far, just misread that one.
This one's a puzzle. Takes a little step in, and now he's just kind of going back at it cross-legged and didn't really think the ball was going to carry. Remember, the roof is closed here. There's no element of wind at all. So it was just a misread.
First base runner for the Blue Jays, and up comes Kaz Okamoto, who was their best hitter yesterday, going 2 for 4. The rest of the team was 3 for 28, but Okamoto hit it hard a couple times. Here in his first season in the big leagues, hitting .263.
Yeah, after yesterday, I got to peg him as a high ball hitter right now.
Goes after that high ball into shallow right center field. Freeland waits under it and makes the catch for the first out. One gone second inning. Up comes Ernie Clement. Knocked in the Blue Jays' first run yesterday. 10-game hitting streak against the Dodgers through the World Series and back to the August series against them in LA last year. Always aggressive. Fouls off the first pitch.
Both these clubs tonight don't want to wait around to try and hit the split, or with Yama the slider. Early in the count, if they see something they can reach, they're going to be hacking.
Remember, it was the curveball that Clement went against Yamamoto in the 9th inning and crushed. One that Pages tracked down. Got it on the first pitch. Sanchez inches off second. Yamamoto deals. Into shallow right center field again. On comes Tucker. He slides and makes the catch.
Just making sure he can get there, and then making sure he calls off Alex Freeland so there's no collision.
So Yamamoto's retired. First 2 guys after the leadoff double, and here's Nathan Lucas. Just 2 out of 15 so far this year. Lucas takes ball 1. Lucas spent 10 years in the minors, got released by a couple different organizations. Last year he was 30, and going into the year he said, if it doesn't happen this year, I'm done. But finally stuck. And he was one of the top hitters for the Blue Jays in the playoff run. Contact lineup, he's the top contact guy. Comes up empty on this swing though, and it's 1-1.
Well, the double with an asterisk got the guy to second base, but he has been throwing a lot of strikes to get ahead of these guys. 6 out of 7 batters have seen a first pitch strike. Yama is on his game as far as the location is concerned. We didn't see this in the first 2 outings. He wasn't as efficient as he can be.
Here's his 2-1. Fouled off. Splitter diving out of the strike zone.
Guy reaches that pitch, you might want to go up and in here with a fastball. Going to go away.
Backdoor cutter, which he's thrown more and more these first couple starts than he had for a lot of last season. Less of the four seam, more the cutter. Both of them, though, as you were saying, have gotten hit a fair amount the first 2 games. Splitter is the one that hasn't been touched by either team. Here's another 2-2, and there was that high fastball you were calling for.
Yeah, he got a lot of barrel on the 2 pitches prior to that up and in fastball, reaching the splitter that was down and near the middle of the plate, but it was about ankle high and he got to it. And then that backdoor cutter that was off the plate, he got to that. So figured sooner or later they're going to have to adjust the hitter's sights.
2-2 on Lucas. Yamamoto tries it again. Splitter looked like it popped out of his hand a little bit there.
Yep, got a little sideways with it. With Yamamoto, it's not his delivery when he makes a bad pitch. It's a little bit of the hand discipline, just the finite movements at the very end.
His 8th pitch to Lucas is a 3-2. Called strike 3. Cutter to the top of the zone to end the inning. A leadoff double, but he goes 1-2-3 after that. And already 4 strikeouts for Yamamoto. Or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Dodgers.
MLB Plus is new for 2026. Stream MLB Network 24/7 and select out-of-market games every week. Plus live radio broadcasts of every game, game day 3D, big inning, and minor league action. Visit MLB.com/MLB Plus to subscribe today.
Still scoreless as we go to the 3rd, and Ha-Seong Kim takes ball 1 from Kevin Gausman. He's a late addition to the lineup, as Kirsten reported before the game. Miguel Rojas away from the team for a family reason. And so Kim, back-to-back starts in his return to the big leagues. 2 hits and a walk yesterday. Drills this ball to right center field. That's going to split the gap. Extra bases for Kim, who can fly into second with a leadoff double. Smoke that thing.
Down around the cage today, watching him take BP, there's definitely been some changes from last year to spring training to this year. He is holding it together and he is trusting his strength. And when you do that, you can make your swing shorter, that you feel like you have enough power with the shorter movements to compete at this level. He looks much better.
You know, what a nice thing that has to be for his mind to come here and immediately play like this. Freeland lays a bunt down first base side to advance Kim, and the throw hits him. Kim's headed for the plate, now throws on the brakes and retreats. Throw to third is late.
Good aggressive read by Kim. Freeland was inside the 45-foot line, so he's not going to be called out for running out of the baseline for interference right there on the throw. Gets a nice bunt down. And then he is running as far inside as he can, right on the line right there. You see those strides are touching the chalk. Kim with a really good read to go, nope, that's not going to be good enough. Went about a little over a third down the line and got back.
So first and third, nobody out. And Ohtani takes the first one in the dirt. He's seen 5 pitches. They've all missed. Bottom of the order again, getting the job done. 7 through 9 in the Dodger lineup, the best in baseball by 150 points of OPS. Dave Roberts is saying before the game, that's when this lineup really gets scary. Ohtani lifts a fly ball to right field. Lucas is going back. It's off the wall. Dodgers on the board first. Kim in to score. Freeland to third. Shohei Ohtani with an RBI single. 1-0.
Shohei hit this like a 1-iron. He just went down and just dropped the head of the bat on it and just hits a screaming line drive without the double width fence. The height of this fence keeps it in the ballpark. If it's one of those 8-foot fences, it's out of here.
About put a hole in the fence. All right, so double, sacrifice, and a single. First and third, nobody out, and Kyle Tucker grounded out his first time. Here he watches one miss away. You know the guys at the top of the order are going to get their hits. I know opening homestand they weren't really clicking, but big picture they're going to get their hits. When the bottom of the lineup is getting on base and feeding into it, that's when you get 45 runs in a 4-game span.
Bottom of the lineup's hitting like an all-star.
Now, a lot of that has been Pages, who between his performance and Mookie Betts being out has moved up in the order a little bit.
With Dalton Rushing chipped in. Alex Call has chipped in.
Came the last couple days. Today Muncie's down to the 7 spot. Pages up to 6. 2-0 to Tucker. Swung on and missed.
That was one of the weaker splitters that Gausman throws, where it doesn't really have a lot of bite. It has a little bit of a funky rotation on it where it doesn't go down.
Hitters say the good ones look exactly like the fastball, and then they just dive straight down. Like that. Didn't really throw that pitch a whole lot until about halfway through his career. 6 seasons in Baltimore. Was a starter there just around league average, and then he bounced from the Orioles to the Braves to the Reds and pitched out of the bullpen for the first time. They said, why don't you pare it down and be a 2-pitch guy? And one of those 2 pitches that he started to really lean on was the splitter. Strikes out Tucker with a fastball to the outside edge. And then in San Francisco, that's where he really took off at that pitch, and it was Buster Posey that encouraged him to incorporate it more. First out of the inning, second strikeout for Gausman. And here's Will Smith. Dave Roberts said before the game today, this is what you can expect while Mookie Betts is out. Will Smith will hit third. Takes ball 1. Hopefully not too long for Mookie Betts, out with that oblique injury. One other time that he had an oblique injury, went on to win MVP. So, sign of good things to come. Bouncing ball to third. Okamoto will go to second for 1. Clement to first. Not in time, and it's 2-0. Freeland comes in to score. Smith was chugging up that line, knowing that it meant the difference between a run and not.
It's an important run to get because you have first and third, no out. You don't want to leave that situation with no runs. Fortunate for the Dodgers that Will hit this ball weakly. It gave him that last extra bit to get to first base. Clearly safe.
So the 8 and 9 hitters both get on, both coming to score. 2-0 Dodgers. Up comes Freddie Freeman. A heater for a strike. Freeman flied to left his first time. His home run yesterday was his 99th as a Dodger.
Gausman split, when it's up, it's a strike, but it's flat. And then the other one almost is a ball out of hand. If he keeps up with that pattern, I think they're going to catch up to him.
High fastball. Freeman slaps it to left field. Jesus Sanchez will make the catch and end the inning. But the Dodgers draw first blood. 2-0. Middle 3. All on Sportsnet LA is brought to you by your local Kia dealers. Visit Kia.com to discover movement that inspires. Yamamoto's retired 6 of the first 7 that he's faced and has a 2-0 lead as Andres Gimenez comes up to start the third for Toronto. Gimenez 0 for 4 yesterday. Got off to a wonderful start to this season. Had a walk-off hit on opening day. Had 4 hits the second day of the season, but he's 3 for 29 since. On this 1-0 from Yamamoto, he takes it down the middle for a strike. 1-1. You know, you think about pitchers coming from Japan, and there's this reputation that they usually bring with them of being rigid and having to have their own schedule, even a little bit fragile. I think the reputation generally coming over. And you talk about turning that on its head with what Yamamoto did last year. A testament to the work that he's done. We talk all about Yada Sensei and the throwing of the javelin and everything, but it's not just the physical, it's the mental side of it too. Roller to second, routine for Freeland. Yada is not just biomechanics, but it's spirituality too. And Yoshi says that he's responsible for who he's become. He said he is the person that built me. I'm talking about Yada. It's the mindset and then the movement. And the way that Yada puts it is instead of one muscle at 100%, it's 600 muscles at 10%, all moving together. Thinking of that in your training, thinking of that in your pitching. Strike 1 on Valenzuela. It's all body weight exercises. It's different, right? Like watching him do his thing, it's totally different than anything you'd see. Dave Roberts was saying before the game, we can't possibly think we have it figured out over here. And at this point, any player would be stupid not to at least inquire what he's doing and try to learn from it.
Especially starting at the base, which would be the theories that brought on the exercises, then the experimentation of how you developed them as you made them into precise movements that exercise the whole body and have that philosophy of using all 600 muscles at 10% capacity, which would keep you healthy and efficient.
He just made Brandon Valenzuela look like a guy who's been in the big leagues for 2 days and has never seen a pitch like that. George Springer slaps the first one foul. The way that they put it just fundamentally is focus on the trunk, not the branches. You're thinking about the way that you move and how you train. A little pop up and foul ground. Smith is over there. Oh, it falls between him and Freddie Freeman. A miscommunication there between the Dodger catcher and first baseman.
Now, this happens when neither guy thinks they have it, and then they start hearing footsteps, and there's no calling for it because neither one is confident and almost hoping for the other one to hear their voice.
So fresh life for Springer and a check swing foul.
It also is a little bit like the play we saw Freddie make yesterday as far as the throw to first that was going to take him into the runner, and he just kind of backed off from it because the score was out of whack. That was one right there where both guys are probably like, this isn't the time to go all out and risk injury.
Bouncing ball that ricochets off Yamamoto to a charging Freeland, who continues to play confident second base and finishes off an 11-pitch inning for Yamamoto.
April 11th, purchase a special ticket pack for an exclusive Teacher Appreciation Night crew neck sweater. Visit Dodgers.com/promotions.
Could use that sweater today.
More than a sweater.
Be one of many layers. Take all the giveaways and put them on today. Teoscar Hernandez opens the 4th inning for the Dodgers. They got the first 2 runs of the day last inning. Hernandez, who struck out his first time, leads off against Gausman and takes downstairs for ball 1. Yeah, the first of the 5 home runs yesterday. A continuation of Game 7 of the World Series. The Dodgers riding the long ball. They have the 3 home runs to complete the comeback and win Game 7. And contact is great. Batting average is great. But Game 7 was a triumph for the home runs. And an example of that being kind of the final trump card. Yeah, Toronto continued to make contact, but Dodgers out-homered them 3-1 in Game 7. And in the postseason, when you hit multiple home runs last year, you went 25-3.
And in the regular season this year, when you hit out-homer your opponent, the Dodgers are 7-0.
Tap to third, Okamoto for the first out. Let's get a word from Jack in the Box.
Get my new Smash Jack Sliders Munchie Meal for a chance to win $75,000. Welcome to Jack in the Box.
Andy Pages comes up with 1 gone in the 4th inning, grounded out his first time, but that was after he just missed hitting a home run down the left field line. He takes ball 1. Right after last season ended, Pages took a little time off, but before this season began, before everybody got together at spring training, he got together with the entire hitting department to go over what happened and what they could do to fix it. So 2 big things that came out of that meeting: approach and setup to his swing. The approach we've talked about a lot, a whole lot more discipline, being selectively aggressive. And the setup, he had always been kind of loose. The way that Aaron Bates put it to me is floppy in his stance. Now has a much more structured setup. They compared it to Juan Soto, kind of in his legs more, and he has the bat laid down on his shoulder instead of straight up. So they made those 2 big changes, immediately went to work dialing them in. First thing was tracking 1,000,000 pitches with his eyes, just standing there training his eyes on the traject machine that can simulate any major league pitcher. So every day he would plug in Paul Skeens and get the nastiest stuff to track with his eyes. And then 1,000,000 swings to dial in that new setup. And one thing to give the guy the things to work on, Aaron Bates said part of what has made him great is you never have to worry about, is he doing the work? You never have to check in to see if he's following through on what you gave him. Something he first proved when he came back from shoulder surgery a few years back, way faster than anybody expected. Stays alive.
He first mentioned when he got his new stance that he had to train his eyes because all of a sudden his eyes were a different height. So he had to learn the strike zone just visually before he started swinging the bat. But you can really see the stability and his connection to the ground as he swings, as he gets ready. But then as he takes his first movements, he stays in the ground. Watch the flex of the back knee, how it stays the same the whole way through. The only thing the back knee does is move forward.
Down on strikes here, where if you go up and pull up a same look from that same angle from his first 2 years in the major leagues, he is completely upright. And the bat is too.
And then as he moves, the knees change flexion, the spine angle changes flexion forward and backward, and all of a sudden, yeah. Easy to chase when you're not picking up the right information.
2 up and 2 down in this 4th inning for Gausman, and up comes Max Muncy. Muncy, who popped out to third his first time, is ahead 2-0. Down the line, Guerrero's there. He says he's got it himself and takes it to the bag. Down to 1, 2, 3, 4. World Champion Dodger Baseball on Sportsnet LA is brought to you by Jack in the Box. Jack's new Smash Jack Sliders Munchie Meal with a chance to win the $75,000 prize for Jack's 75th anniversary. A 2-0 lead for the Dodgers back here in Toronto, trying to go to 5-0 on this road trip. Yoshinobu Yamamoto goes back to work, just one base runner against him through 3. Dalton Varsho grounds the first one to second. We've seen that before. Varsho against Yamamoto. Grounded to second, one away. But here's a matchup worth the price of admission. Yamamoto against Guerrero. Faced him in the 9th inning last year. Yamamoto tipped his cap to Guerrero as he stepped in there, and Vlad said he'll never forget that. Guy that was at the peak of his powers, acknowledging somebody who he felt was at the peak of his. Just the respect exchange there really touched him. Big curve, 1-2.
I remember sometimes on the mound when you have these kind of confrontations, my attitude, what I said to myself is, here we go. Kind of like I know you and you know me, and here we go. It's going to happen.
The 1-2 pitch.
Because there is a respect for the talent on both sides, and there's a respect that if you were teammates, you would absolutely love each other, but there's no time for love in this confrontation of 60 feet 6 inches.
Big bounce to the short, charging Kim, throws on the run in time. Ha-Seong Kim. Smiling, and deservedly so. That play and the way he's played his first 2 games back.
The speed to get to this ball, and then the hand dexterity to get it out of the glove and quickly throw it over there. He barely took the ball back to like a full arm swing. He just kind of pulled it back out of the glove enough to load it in time and gun it over there. That was so well done.
We haven't gotten to see Kim play much shortstop, which is his natural position. Jesus Sanchez takes a strike.
Baseball's a beautiful game. Even on what is known as just a 6-3 put out. That is just gorgeous.
Remember, this is the play that he made yesterday. Over the shoulder. Adjusted at the last moment. Jeez. How hard is that?
It is so hard. Contort your body to be looking backwards and understand where the ball's going to fall, and then to get your glove to the other side of your body and have it hit in the pocket, because if it hits the fingers, it's coming out. If it hits the top of the web, it's coming out. It's got to hit within about a 6-inch circle for the glove to close.
Two balls and 1 strike. Here comes Yamamoto. It's slapped foul, and it's 2-2. Sanchez, the only guy to reach base for the Blue Jays. And as Yamamoto keeps going like this, you look back at how he reached, and it's like, oh no.
Exactly.
That's the only base runner. Kyle Tucker misplayed a ball in right field into a double. Here's a 2-2. Outside with a cutter.
Reporters are asking, managers are asking, front offices, they're asking pitching coaches, should starters now start going deeper into games?
Got him. Waves over a curve, strike 3. That is 6 for Yamamoto. Is getting some help behind him. Ha-Seong Kim, have a day. Toyota dealers, we make it easy. Dodgers lead the Blue Jays 2-0. After the 14-2 drubbing last night, a little tighter today, as expected when Gausman and Yamamoto go head-to-head. 8-9-1 coming up. This is the part of the order that triggered the rally in the third and scored the 2 runs. Kim doubled and scored. And leads off against Gausman by taking a splitter outside ball 1. Kim, when he came up last year, hit really well. May and June, he was a .383 hitter. He's #1 in the National League. July 4th, though, hit just .175. Struck out twice as much as he did those first couple months. And then he was going through the shoulder issue. Hardly played down the stretch. Didn't see the field until the last inning of the World Series in the postseason. The way Robert Van Scoyoc put it was last year with the swing, it was stabilize the patient. I didn't have time midseason to do a complete overhaul. So stabilize the patient, and then this offseason, let's actually go in and get it right. Takes a strike right here. And the time down in AAA to open the season, it ended faster than they had expected because of the injury to Betts. But the idea was to hone in that swing that they spent the offseason getting right. On a 3-1 pitch from Gausman, Kim takes ball 4. Which points you to the next point about his swing is no matter how good the swing is, can he control the zone? Can he be more disciplined?
With the strength going up, the knowledge of the league going up and what he's facing, and the swing getting shorter, that's going to give him a little bit more time, a heartbeat more time to decipher that strike zone.
Balk is called on Gausman. Kim will get second.
I think you can't argue a balk, but he might be asking, what did I do? And I think he didn't stop.
And Gausman's been called for his fair share of these through the years. That's his 11th career balk. He didn't stop, but he never really does. That's.
I would like to see how many times he does that little hesitation, because when you.
John Schneider just got thrown out. And this, as it often is with ejections, is an accumulation of a lot of things gone wrong, a lot of frustrations. I hope you're bad lip readers.
That's frustration, and that's also a little bit of a plan to try and wake his team up and let the fans know that they're trying as hard as they can with the personnel they have. It's just not working out right now.
And yeah, you could tell that he wanted it. Kept going after Merzel, who ejects him. Corners are pinched in. Same situation Freeland was up in his first time. Sacrificed here. No sign of the bunt. Takes downstairs.
So Gausman comes set, but last time he did 4 of those little hesitations before he comes set. On the balk, he only did 2. And a lot of times umpires will say, if you're going to do that, fine, but do the same thing every time. There's 3.
Line drive, base hit right center. Here comes Kim, and the ball's bobbled by Lucas. Kim will score without a throw. 3-0. Alex Freeland drives in. Hess on Kim. And the 2 guys that competed for the second base job in spring training have combined to bring in the first 3 runs of this game.
Well, Alex deserves this line drive. He had a great BP and was swinging his A swing for sure. Actually made a comment to Dave Roberts that he's going to probably bring it to the table today. Well, he brought his A glove yesterday and hitting some bad luck. He's been hitting the ball really hard, and that one deserved a drop.
Still nobody out. Here's Shohei Ohtani taking a strike, throw down to first, and took a Superman dive right there from Vlad Jr. to keep it in the infield. Ohtani is hurt.
Oh, it was on the throw. And the follow through of the hand knocked right on his left elbow. Right about where the funny bone is, where it can just numb you.
Remember, that is the side that he had shoulder surgery on after the 24 World Series.
Shohei was just trying to get some feeling back in his arm.
Wow, that is the largest and loudest sigh of relief coming out of Los Angeles, coming out of that dugout. Oh.
Still shaking it out. But between his yelling that he was hurt and us seeing the replay on how it happened, I was nervous for those 4 or 5 seconds. Like, how did this happen? What is going on?
Lifts a fly ball to right field for Lucas. There's the first out of the 5th. Let's look more and more like it's mostly just a little bit of anger, frustration that happened, than it is anything too serious. Dodgers 3, Blue Jays nothing. 1 gone in this 5th inning. Kyle Tucker comes up.
It's comforting to see him sit down, to not see any of the trainers come over and check on him.
Man, how you feeling if you're Brandon Valenzuela in your 2nd game in the major leagues? You just made Ohtani mad for the first time. Not first time you've made him mad, the first time he's been mad. Like, I've never seen him like that.
No. He might have been mad before, but he's never shown it.
I think we even saw a mastery of a different portion of the English language there come out of his mouth.
He definitely, it was fingers that hit him, not the ball, and it just probably really was specific to a nerve that really lit his elbow on fire.
Count is 1-1 on Tucker. Running the bank here in the 5th. And the base hit from Freeland. Kevin Gausman again finds himself matched against the wrong guy. Gausman not pitching poorly. Didn't pitch poorly in the World Series either. Just Yamamoto is on the other side. Went around and it's 1-2. Bullpen stirs. The bullpen has worked a bunch. 7 innings last night. 4 of their 10 games they've pitched at least 6 innings. The 1-2 pitch. Count evens up. You were started to talk about Dave Roberts' discussion about starters going deeper into games. He said early on in his time as a manager, which is now a decade ago, there was a lot of talk about third time through the lineup, protecting your starter from that. And he said he thinks it's changed to the point where people realize what you gain from that is lost by taxing your bullpen over the course of the season. 2 out.
And I think the philosophy is going to be different for every club. If it's a club that thinks we're going to end up 1 or 2 games over 500, we got a shot at a wild card, you're going to push the best people out there as often as possible. But if you're a club like the Dodgers or the Yankees or somebody that's looking to go deep into October, possibly the first week of November, you're going to treat your starters differently. And it's going to be very situational with every guy. You might say, you know, is Yamamoto trained now to go 7 to 9 innings every start? Yes, he is. But we don't want to use those 20 innings where we extend him and then lose the effectiveness in October. But it'd be different for a team that has lesser personnel that's trying to just barely get to the playoffs and barely thinks they can squeak through their division. They're going to push a guy like Yamamoto when he's in a rotation where he is the ace of aces and we need to win on his nights.
And the big picture of that, Oral, is that 2021 through 2023, the Dodgers won 100+ games, didn't win a single World Series. 2024, they win 98. Last year, they win 93, and they win it all both times.
You can have an embarrassment of riches as far as the personnel, but you still have to use them properly, not just use them up.
On a 2-1 pitch, Smith takes a fastball at the bottom of the zone, 2-2.
I mean, we've had storylines from media that are just shallow in their research that says our bullpens are going to be overused, and they're not looking at how many people are splitting up all those innings.
Smith lifts a fly ball to left field. Sanchez steps back onto the track to make the catch. And then the top of the 5th, halfway home in this game, unless you're John Schneider. In his case, he's all the way.
Great Healthcare Appreciation Night on April 14th. Purchase a special ticket package for a Dodger-themed healthcare jacket. Visit Dodgers.com/promotions.
Former Oryx ace against former Giant star Yoshinobu Yamamoto against Kaz Okamoto to start this 5th. The global pull of the game showing off right here. First one misses away. This guy's faced off a bunch back in Japan. Okamoto in the non-Ohtani division was as big a star as anybody. Perennial home run champion. Signing a 4-year contract with the Blue Jays worth $60 million to be their everyday third baseman. Took the first 2 away. Yamamoto comes back home, and that's ball 3, which is rare, this 3-0 count. Yamamoto's 75% strikes so far today.
Yeah, he's been in the zone between that and the foul balls. Yep, 75% of those strikes.
A 3-0 green light and a fly ball to left center field. Teoscar Hernandez will make the catch. He just got it off the end of the bat.
Well, we got 4 1/3 innings in, and he's given up 1 hit, and it really should be no hits. Just asked Kyle Tucker, and he said I should have had that ball. And he's been doing it in the zone.
This is the first time, I think, out of his 3 starts this year where it's looked like Yamamoto in more of his best form. Something to be said, though, for those first 2 starts. Still 6 innings and 2 runs when he didn't have his best. Curve for a strike on Clement. Bounced down to third. Looked like Clement thought it was fouled at first, so hesitated, and it cost him. Max Muncy throws across to first to get Clement, whose hesitation in the box cost him a chance at an infield hit.
Definitely did. There was some assumption there. Right there. You saw him pull out of his legs and all of a sudden drop the shoulders and start running. He is out. Foot is over the bag, but not on the bag.
Ball 1 on Nathan Lucas. Lucas struck out looking his first time. That's one of the 6 for Yamamoto, who's not walked anybody. And these 6 Ks come after he only struck out 2 against Cleveland. Fly to center field. No big deal for Pages. And an 8-pitch inning for Yoshinobu Yamamoto.
Fans on April 15th will receive a Jackie Robinson jersey in commemoration of the first Dodgers championship in 1955. And that'll be presented by UCLA Health. Visit Dodgers.com/promotions.
Freddie Freeman to start the 6th inning for the Dodgers. Teoscar Hernandez, Andy Pages to follow. Dodgers got 2 in the 3rd, 1 in the 5th against Gausman. Freeman, who's flied out to left field both times, takes a splitter for strike 1. Another one. Check this time. 1 ball, 1 strike.
This game is a little bit like the World Series wins, where the Dodgers are winning in the little things. You got a sacrifice bunt where they hit the runner. You got a bottom of the order gets the job done. You got productive outs that push runs across.
Base hit for Freddie Freeman. Pounds that thing into the turf, rolls through the middle, leadoff single.
It's the first off-speed pitch from either pitcher that turns out to be a hit. Yamamoto hasn't given up a hit on a non-fastball. Gausman finally gives up a hit on a non-fastball.
Leadoff man aboard. Leadoff man's been on for the 6 innings for the Dodgers. And as fouls back the first pitch. There's pressure immediately when you pull out the lineup card and see who you're going to face, and then guys on base the whole night adding to that. Wave and a miss, 0-2. Teoscar trying to extend his hitting streak. It's at a modest 6 games right now, but .458 average in that time. Oh, 2. This road trip, this series wraps up tomorrow. Shohei Ohtani will start for the Dodgers. Dylan Cease, who the Dodgers have seen a bunch through the years in San Diego, counters for the Blue Jays. A couple marquee pitching matchups in this series, days 2 and 3. On another 1-2 pitch, Hernandez swings through the fastball, strike 3.
The splitter makes you a little late on the fastball, and sometimes you're not late, you're on time, but you just don't pick it up quite as well because you're reading so much for the spin.
With 1 out, it's Andy Pages. Base hit to left field for Pages. Line that splitter into left, 1st and 2nd for the Dodgers.
National League Player of the Week. Congratulations to Andy.
That'll be the last batter for Kevin Gausman. Dodgers 3 runs on 5 hits. The runners at 1st and 2nd, his responsibility. And the bullpen takes over here in the 6th. Well, the book not yet closed on Kevin Gausman. Here's the line as it stands right now. 5 1/3, those 3 runs. And responsible for Freeman at 2nd and Pages at 1st. Hands it off to this heavily worked Blue Jays bullpen. This is Mason Fluharty, who the Dodgers saw a lot of in the postseason last year. He was their top lefty. Fluharty this year in the first game gave up 2 runs and didn't get an out, but Just 1 run in 4 games since then.
He's got a really nice cutter, nice sweeper. A lot of breaking stuff from left to right, especially in a left-on-left situation against Muncy.
Where Muncy has thrived so far this year. 4 for 8 with a home run. After a year where he did not hit lefties very well at all. Really, this whole team, lefty on lefty, has been great. So Fluharty's on, trying to preserve the line of Gausman. And his first pitch to Max Muncy is a little bit outside for ball 1. Fluharty, who made his debut last season, had an ERA below 1 over the final couple months, but in the postseason it ballooned to 6. Ball and a strike with that cutter that is his main pitch, one that he kind of discovered by accident when he was pitching in college at Liberty. He said, why did my 4-seam keep cutting? And then somebody suggested to him, why don't you embrace that and make that your key pitch? Ground ball to second, could be 2. To second for 1, over to first. Muncy legs it out, and the inning stays alive.
Hit weakly enough, just like Will Smith's ball, where they don't have time to turn 2, and Max beats it easily.
So it's up to Kim here with runners at first and third and 2 away. Kim has doubled and walked and scored 2 of the 3 runs and has been on base 5 times in his first 2 games. Sweeper for a strike. Kim last year .382 with runners in scoring position. Cued foul, and it's 0-2. Fluharty delivers and strikes out Kim to get out of the jam. Dodgers strand a couple. Middle 6, 3-0. The Performance Spotlight is sponsored by your Southern California Nissan dealers. Pretty good for Yoshinobu Yamamoto against the Blue Jays. He had up what he did in the World Series last year with a 5 scoreless innings, 5 nearly perfect innings tonight, a sub-1 ERA, and here is how he's gotten it done.
Getting him out with everything, and he's getting them out quick. Almost half the hitters he's gotten out in 3 pitches or fewer. So the pitch count is in really good shape. And overall, he looks in and sees a Toronto Blue Jay uniform. He feels really good about it. Over the course of his career, they're hitting 147 off of him.
Andres Gimenez leads off, can't lay off that high fastball, and it's 1-1. It's remarkable what we just showed there, the dispersal of outs. We talk about Gausman being hard to face because you got to worry about the splitter and then the fastball sneaks by. How about when you got to legitimately worry about 6 different pitches?
He's got a lot of different javelins. If you can repeat your mechanics like he can, then changing the grip is just a very fine and easy adjustment. Where you find out if your grips work or not and are always doing the same thing is when you repeat your body before the ball comes out of your hand with your arm angle and with your hand discipline. That's just a finite move at the end of the delivery, but the volume of what you're doing, the power of what you're doing needs to be consistent for the grips to all take their form and you know where the ball's going.
3-1 on Gimenez. Yamamoto deals on the hands, 3-2. Do you want to be thinking about the hand though, and the fingers and the?
No, but some people will go, oh man, you have a good slider. What's your grip? Okay, well, my grip on a slider might not work for your delivery. A, because it's a completely different arm angle, the way you thrust your body, but the direction you take your body, the timing of where your release point is. But for him, the whole beginning and foundation of the delivery is the same every pitch. So now when he grips the ball and now he comes through with the fingers are split, the fingers are off center for a cutter, the fingers are a little bit farther forward for a slider, the fingers are in front for the curveball. Every one of those grips reacts correctly for him because he repeats everything before it. It'd be like shooting a gun and I'm going to adjust things as the bullet's going down the barrel, or I'm going to adjust the butt end of the gun is not doing very well. It's not stable in your shoulder. Well, who cares what your grip is at the end, what the bullet does? You're not doing the same thing every time.
Long battle going here against Jimenez to open the inning. He hooks a base hit into right field, and that certainly makes Kyle Tucker feel a little bit better. First legit hit of the game for the Jays.
Toronto Blue Jay uniform reminds me of Dave Steed, who threw 8 2/3 innings in back-to-back starts of no-hit ball and then had bad hop ground balls ruin it. Crazy back in the day. So hard to throw a no-hitter, so hard to throw a perfect game.
Big hitter right here with the top of the order due up. Valenzuela grounds it foul. 27 perfect games in baseball history. A couple hundred no-hitters, but perfect game a whole nother level. Valenzuela squares and takes a strike. It's 0-2.
The perfect game includes your fielders. An error behind you.
Target set up. Yamamoto waiting and throwing. Missing high and away. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Runner takes off, grounder to first, keep him out of the double play. Good pick by Freeman, steps on the bag. Into scoring position goes Jimenez, 1 gone. Then we get a quick word from Nissan.
This Dodgers broadcast is sponsored in part by your Southern California Nissan dealers.
Olympic gold medal winner Yamamoto won a World Baseball Classic. He's won 2 World Series in 2 seasons in the majors. Dave Roberts is saying before the game, at this point it's in his DNA. Winning follows him wherever he goes. George Springer watches a fastball just miss, and you forget about game 3 where he was up ready to come into that game right after his complete game in game 2. Had it gone beyond the 18th, it was going to be Yamamoto. The antithesis of rigid and fragile. Slap to right center field. Tucker won't get there. Blue Jays on the board. Extra bases for George Springer. 3-1 in the 6th.
He hits it in the perfect place. Slightly towards center and then some slicing action into the right center gap. Tough ball for outfielders to run the perfect route on, and if you take the risk of going straight at it and you're Kyle Tucker, it's going to go to the wall and you might give up the triple with 1 out. It's really good right there to play that into a double. Sometimes you want your outfielders to be aggressive to try and eliminate the hit and turn it into an out. Other times you want them to be conservative depending on what the outs are, what the scoreboard says, and where the runner will end up depending on how you play it.
Alex Vesia is starting to loosen. Andres Jimenez, an impressive at-bat, trying to flip this game for the Blue Jays to start this inning. 8 pitches. He wound up singling. The pitch count up to 77 for Yamamoto, who's given up his first run. And now the tying run at the plate in the form of Dalton Varsho, who shows bunt and takes high.
We saw Kevin Gausman give up a hit to Freddie Freeman on a split finger, his first on an off-speed pitch. Well, that was Yamamoto's first non-fastball. They were 0 for 10 with 4 Ks prior to that double.
Fastballs by him, 1-1. Varsho is 0 for 2 tonight and 0 for 10 against Yamamoto in his career. Springer at second. On a 1-1 pitch. Varsho leaves it upstairs, ball 2. It's Guerrero next, and then the left-handed batting Sanchez. All right-handed bench tonight for the Blue Jays. The 2-1. 2-2.
You really want to bear down on Varsho and have first base open if Guerrero comes up.
Yamamoto will face him no matter what. Wouldn't bring Vesia on for Guerrero. Here he comes for the 2-2 pitch. Count goes full.
Another split or a cutter in. Four-seamer in. When a hitter takes your split, that was a pretty good pitch right down the middle, and he just almost takes it out of hand, you really feel like he might be late on a fastball in then. That's what they went with.
Tries it again on 3-2. Back to the splitter, and Varsho takes it for ball 4. First walk of the game issued by Yamamoto. And tension right here. Tying run aboard. Vlad Guerrero Jr. coming up. For the first time all series, the Blue Jays have made this place start to rock. Put the Dodgers a bit on edge. Big bouncer up along third. Muncy waits on it, steps on the bag to get Springer.
It's a great play. Great baseball clock by Max Muncy, understanding that the height of that chop and where he was in front of the bag, he's probably not going to get Guerrero at first. So hang back, stretch a little bit, and tag third base. Right there, made a really good decision with those chop steps and reading the top.
So they get Guerrero on 1 pitch. Jesus Sanchez comes up, 2 on and 2 out. Not out of the woods yet with Sanchez's power. Yamamoto had retired 12 in a row coming into this inning. 3 of 4 have reached, though. Single, double walk. Now it's on Sanchez's plate, the newest Blue Jay. Ball and a strike. That one got Will Smith. Ooh, got him on the foot. Varsho's the runner at second, Guerrero at first. Yamamoto's 1-1. Bouncer to second for Freeland. That's that for the Jays in the 6th. They get 1, but they strand 2. On to the 7th we go in a 3-1 game. Dodger Baseball on Sportsnet LA is brought to you by Shakey's Pizza Parlor. Serving up handcrafted pizza, crispy fried chicken, and famous Mojo potatoes since 1954. Dodgers lead this game 3-1 as we go to the top of the 7th inning. Joe Davis or Hershiser, Kirsten Watson back inside Rogers Center where Alex Freeland leads off. Productive night for him. Sacrifice and a run scored. Also knocked in a run with a single. Talking with Robert Van Scoyoc before the game about him, and he said he's told him to stay right where you are. He's loved the way that he's swinging and he's loved the approach. Rob says it's his job, part psychologist at that point, to make sure that the young kid keeps his spirits up. Ohtani and Tucker to follow in this inning against the lefty Fluharty, who's 1-1, is outside, ball 2. Looks like Yamamoto is going to keep going. There's nobody warming. We're talking through things with Mark Pryor and Will Ireton. Count evens 2-2.
His countryman will be the first hitter if Yamamoto goes out for the 7th.
It's Okamoto, then Clement, then Lucas.
Of those next 3 hitters, none have gotten a hit off of him. All 0 for 2.
Only 3 hits total in this game for the Jays. 2-2. Into left center field. Varsho on the run. Dead sprint. Won't get there. Extra bases for Freeland. Into second. He's got a perfect night going. A leadoff double here in the 7th. Well, as Dalton rushing last night with a get-right game, and it feels like Freeland's having it tonight.
Flipped around to the right side, the switch hitter that he is. Finds the gap. Right place. Good exit velocity.
So he's at second, and Ohtani's up. Dodgers looking for insurance here in the 7th. Walking a single for Shohei, who slaps it foul.
Alex Freeland will probably ask for another session with his psychologist.
Yeah.
It's working, Doc.
Well, then have a seat.
Lay down on my hitting coach couch.
Robert Van Jung. Fluharty was their Ohtani specialist in the World Series last year. Two on. Inside, ball 3. Less than 24 hours away from his next pitching start. He was awesome in his first one. It's that full week of rest and ready to wrap up this road trip. 3 o'clock Eastern time tomorrow. Noon back in LA. Off the end of the bat to shallow left field. Jesus Sanchez is under it for the first out. And now a word from Kia. Good chance this is the last hitter here for Fluharty. The left-handed batting Tucker. Will Smith waits on deck. Tucker looking for his first hit tonight at 0 for 3. It's been the bottom of the Dodger lineup in this game. The 8 and 9 hitter. Kim and Freeland 3 for 4, pair of doubles and a walk. Rest of the team 3 for 21. On an 0-1, Tucker takes it very high. Ball and a strike. Chase, strike 3, 2 out.
Dodgers not living up to their stats as far as risk. The best runners in scoring position in the major leagues coming into this game, but tonight 2 for 9.
And a pitching change coming up here. The righty Varland is ready for Will Smith. Take a break. Back in a moment. Dodger Baseball on Sportsnet LA is brought to you by Morongo Casino Resort and Spa. Less than 90 minutes from wherever you are. Good times. You said Toronto's a great hot dog city, right?
Yep. Out on the street. There they got the black stone, the flat top, but the ones on the street with the charcoal grills are really good.
Blue Jays making a change. Louis Varland comes on to pitch. 4 games so far this season after he carried a heavy load in the postseason. He's not given up a run.
15 appearances in the postseason. Most in Major League history. Ridiculous rubber arm. So far this year, getting a lot of ground balls. No one has gotten a barrel on him yet. A very low hard hit rate for sure.
Will Smith, as you see, has hit him hard. 3 for 5 with a home run. On this 1-0, Smith takes ball 2. Smith 0 for 3 in this game, does have an RBI with a fielder's choice back in the 3rd. Dodgers got 2 runs in that 3rd inning, 1 in the 5th. It's enough at this point because Yamamoto's given up just the 1 through 6.
Will got that RBI because he doesn't run like a catcher. Got down the line and beat it out.
The Rooks challenging this. Valenzuela. And he got it.
With a strike, Toronto has 2 challenges remaining.
So it's 2-1 instead of 3-0.
The younger guys have actually had more reps with the ABS system.
Right.
Because of AA and AAA.
Count evens 2-2.
That's a pitch right there that Will would like to have back. That's one that he can really handle. It's in his sweet spot.
Freeland started this inning with a double. He's still at second. Varland throws 2-2 and Smith pokes it foul to stay alive. Dodgers trying to go to 5-0 on this road trip. 1 game left after today. They're 8-2 overall. Blue Jays 4-6, trying to end a 5-game losing streak. They haven't lost 6 in a row in 2 years. Another 2-2 pitch. Another foul. The one that caught a lot of the plate. That continues to pound the strike zone with that fastball, and Will continues to spray him foul. This will be the 8th pitch of the at-bat. Varland to Smith. He's worked it full.
What a great at bat by Will Smith. He's only had 1 pitch where he kind of lost his posture, but he fought off a breaking ball away.
The payoff. Poke to right field. Lucas is there, and that's the inning. Dodgers unable to take advantage of a leadoff double. Stand and stretch. Time for the 7th inning stretch. Brought to you by Sit and Sleep. Surprised that this is the first guy to pitch into the 7th inning for the Dodgers. Yamamoto, after the 26 pitch 6, where he gives up his first run, is back out there with a 3-1 lead in the 7th. Okamoto, Clement, Lucas due up. First pitch curve just misses inside. 6 strikeouts for Yamamoto in this game. He's walked just 1. Jay's only 3 hits. Here's his 1-0. Swing and a miss at a splitter. Strike 2.
First 4 innings, he was really getting on top of the hitters with first pitch strikes. The last couple innings, he's had to battle back into counts like in this one.
Strikes him out. Slider to the corner. Okamoto will challenge it.
I think he's out.
The previous pitch was called a strike. The batter has challenged.
Well timed.
Toronto has 2
I
challenges.
still have pitcher's eyes.
Well, it used to be that umpires would call the front of the plate. Did it cross the front of the plate? But ABS tracks it halfway down the plate, basically where the peak starts. So instead of the strikeout, a 2-2. And now it's full. Okamoto leading off the 7th. Popping it up. That'll become a souvenir. We'll do the 3-2 again.
I'll honor the broadcaster jinx and let this result happen.
Drilled to right center field. Pages on the move. Won't get there. Off the wall. Leadoff double Okamoto. Puts that challenge to good use.
Yama had only walked 2 batters in 18 innings, so you pretty much know you're going to get a strike in a 3-2 count, and he does, and he doesn't miss it. He challenges him with a fastball. Outer half of the plate is really a good 3-2 pitch, but even a better swing.
Tying run to the plate for the Jays in the 7th in the form of Ernie Clement. First pitch, Hacker takes one. Pigs fly. Clement's 0 for 2 today, 1 for 6 in this series. Chokes up on that bat. High contact approach. Squares and bunts it left side, looking for a hit, and he's got it. Ernie Clement with a bunt single. Crafty Clement, tying run aboard, nobody out.
It could have been the reason that he took that first pitch fastball. He was trying to set up the Dodger defense in a way like, yeah, I'm hitting. Muncy all the way back, but once it gets by Yamamoto, it is a hit.
And that is going to do it for Yoshi. First 2 batters in this 7th inning get hits against him. And these Blue Jays fans and the Blue Jays players are saying anybody but that guy. Yoshinobu Yamamoto nearly perfect through 5 innings. Gives up a run and a couple hits in the 6th. Back-to-back hits to open the 7th, and his night is finished. And so the call to the bullpen is brought to you by Jacoby and Myers. He hands it off to Alex Vesia, who makes his 300th appearance for the Dodgers.
has had 4 pretty clean outings, an ERA of 0.00. These are the first 2 inherited runners of the year that he has had out there, and they're looking for him to possibly give up 1 run, but that's it. I would ignore the runner on third. I would try and stay away from a crooked number right here.
Tying run aboard, go ahead, run at the plate, and Davis Schneider is sent up as the pinch hitter for Nathan Lucas. His job is to mash lefties. Yeah, he's deployed here against the Dodger lefty out of the pen in Vesia. First pitch, fastball, little high. One ball, one strike.
Looking to get the hitter out in any way you can. If it happens to be an out where the runner on third doesn't score, that's extra.
Here's the 1-1. Schneider swings and misses. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
He didn't get cheated on that one. He got a fastball slightly up inner half and let it go. Just missed it.
Clement over there at first base. Good speed, not a good base stealer though. 6 stolen bases last year. He was caught 5 times. Vesia to Schneider with a 1-2 pitch. Lays off and the count evens.
Saw the little flinch with Schneider's hands, knowing that he would chase a pitch up. That one was just a little too high.
Okamoto at third, Clement at first. 2-2 pitch. Schneider leaves it way up there. The 8 hitter Andres Jimenez is on deck. Blue Jays offense that scored just 11 runs the last 6 games. Looking for somebody to give him a big hit. First and third, nobody out. The 3-2. He walked him and the bases are loaded.
Force at any base. You remind your catcher that a comebacker, I'm coming back to you.
Andres Jimenez singled last inning and an 8-pitch at bat and came in to score. Strike 1. Some of the first tension we've had in this series. So highly anticipated after the World Series these teams played, but quiet in here for a lot of the 2 nights. Dodgers dominating last night 14-2. Yamamoto held him down for a lot of this game. Not here though. Bases loaded, nobody out. The 0-1 pitch. Fly to left field. Hernandez over. Okamoto tags. Hernandez the catch. Okamoto hangs on. Just as good as a strikeout right there for Alex Vesia. 1 gone in the 7th.
He got what he was looking for. He got the hitter out, and it was an out that they couldn't score on. If he'd have run, he would have been out. Let's see how fast that ball got in.
So now Brandon Valenzuela in just his 2nd major league game. Up there with the bases loaded and 1 gone. 3-1 in the 7th. 25-year-old from Mexico. Up for Kirk. Ball 1.
Catcher running at the plate. You can turn a double play on a ground ball.
We've seen that here before. Wave and a miss. 1 ball, 1 strike. Well, Alex was telling me the other day he knew this was going to be emotional for him, was going to stir up emotions of being away from the team, the death of his daughter during the World Series last year, and watching the games here, and being out on that mound for the first time since. Here's his 1-1 to Valenzuela. Pop back, and it's 1-2.
He got the strike, but he was upset with himself on the location of the pitch. That's why he took a little stroll around the mound, kind of looked up at the roof.
Top of the order after Valenzuela, that's George Springer. Blake Treinen's getting ready in the Dodger bullpen. Let's see if he's the guy for Springer.
The youngster at the plate was gone check swing, swing, and swing. I think you can throw him something that looks like a strike, ends up a ball, and you strike him out. He looks very anxious in the box.
Vessia's 1-2 pitch. He struck him out with the high fastball. 2 gone in the 7th.
There was no point in this at bat that he didn't want to swing. And once you know he's going to swing and you get a 1-2 count, you don't need to throw him a strike.
And how about Dave Roberts not budging? Going to go with Alex Vesia against George Springer. Vesia, when he's been at his best, has been just as good against righties as he has lefties. 2 out in the 7th. Here he comes. Popped up, backing out of play, strike 1. 300th game as a Dodger. He said if I had told him that when he got traded from Miami, he would have said that's impossible. It was crazy just getting drafted. And then to reach the big leagues, he said, wow, everything after that is just gravy. 300th game as a Dodger. He said just a day at a time to get him here. His 0-1 to George Springer is in there for strike 2.
Springer was sitting fastball, strength against strength on the very first pitch, but this one fooled him.
So what are you going with here?
I go high heat above high.
Popped up, shadow right, Freeland out, Tucker on. The Jays had the bases loaded, nobody out, and could not score. Nightmares returning for Toronto. Dodgers stay in front 3-1 after 7. The game, not an easy lineup to do that against. Free Jumbo Jacks tomorrow. You can enjoy while watching the game. Noon game tomorrow, Los Angeles time. A couple defensive changes. Davis Schneider's into the game and left. Jesus Sanchez flips over to right. And Freddie Freeman sprays the first pitch from Varland foul. So Alex Vesia coming on there and getting out of the jam, preserving Yamamoto's line in his Cy Young pursuit.
Exactly. Those that big smile of Yamamoto at the end was not only am I still in line for the W, I didn't get any more earned runs out of it. It's like I owe that guy a steak dinner.
Freeman hits this one off Varland, chases after it, throws to get him.
It's all leather, but it's a bare hand under the leather when it's a bullet like that. He's just flapping his glove at the trainer like it's no big deal. Oof. Hit the fingers at the top. Not even think it got any skin underneath.
108 miles per hour off of the bat of Freeman.
Yeah, it's just fingers.
Yamamoto, by the way, a .250 ERA after 3 starts, 6 innings in each of them. 2 runs, 1 run, thanks to Alex Vesia's work.
Got a chance to be 2-1. Got support in his first outing. Didn't get any support in the second outing and is getting just enough so far in the third one.
Teoscar Hernandez, 1 gone in this 8th inning. 0 for 3 today. Pops the first pitch off his hands and foul ground at first. And out of play. Series will wrap up tomorrow, then an off day, and Dodgers head home to welcome in the Texas Rangers and the New York Mets. Talked last night about playing teams at the right time. They're catching the Blue Jays while they're very injured. Juan Soto was placed on the injured list yesterday, so when the Mets come into town, they will be without him. A lot of people think the Mets are the Dodgers' biggest threat in the National League this year. Completely overhauled that lineup. Brought in Freddie Peralta. The old Blue Jay, Bo Bichette, who looked for a bit like he was going to be the Game 7 hero with his early home run holding up until the 9th inning. He's now with the New York Mets. 2-1, ball 3. Vesta giving Rushing a hard time there?
I think so. Pouring some cold water down his neck.
It's the only thing to cool him off these days. Hernandez down on strikes for the 3rd time tonight.
You mentioned Dalton Rushing. We got a good scouting report from the team psychologist. Yes, the great thing about him is he got 3 home runs, and I think it's on 3 breaking balls. So they love the fact that he is staying on the ones that spin.
Pages takes away. I said he's always been able to hit fastballs, and we've talked about how great he was as a minor league hitter. A lot of that was on fastballs, but then got to the big leagues, struggled against breaking pitches, and RVS said, hey, they have the internet over there too. They're going to see the numbers that you're not hitting breaking balls, and until you show you can, you're going to keep getting them. So a lot of his focus has been on addressing that. 2 rules in the cage when he's doing his work. Number 1, he's not allowed to swing as hard as he can, and number 2, he's not allowed to pull the ball. Other than that, you can do whatever you want.
That's got to feel like a straitjacket at him when they first gave him those rules.
Chase from Pages, 2-2. Nice and easy though, not swinging, trying to pull the ball for a home run. Got a better chance to adjust on those breaking pitches. 6 straight plate appearances where he's reached base, 3 of those home runs. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Pages. Varland looking for a perfect 8th, and he's got it. To the bottom of the 8th we go. The Dodgers up by 2. Sportsnet Dodgers presented by Mercury Insurance. Finir is French Canadian for finish. Or is it finish for French Canadian?
I don't know. We'll have to ask Jerry.
I guess. I'm sure he asked ChatGPT.
At least.
Blake Trinan's on to pitch here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Dodgers have a 3-1 lead. 2, 3, and 4 coming up for the Blue Jays. And there's strike 1 from Trinan to Dalton Varsho. He's pitched in a few games this year, not giving up a run. You think about the video game stuff from Trinan, you picture the swings and misses on the breaking stuff away, but the other dimension of his game, he's himself, he's getting a bunch of ground balls, and he's had those. Here's 1-1. Grounded foul.
His movement gives him width, but if he can control the height of the pitches, and even if he doesn't have the extreme movements that night, he can get them to hit the top of the ball and get the ground balls. There's a grounder. Freddie Freeman's got it.
Feeds to Trinan. One gone in the 8th.
Just like that. Keep the Blue Jays down. They have been down offensively for the last 6 games, including tonight. And that includes a 2 for 10 tonight with runners in scoring position. And one of those hits was a bunt single that didn't score a runner.
Vlad Guerrero Jr. 0 for 3 today. 0 for 6 in this series. Talked about that leg kick of his. Pretty complicated. Responsible for a lot of times it coming and going for him. Him being very hot and cold. But it's also the source of when he is tuned up right, why there's nobody quite like him. The hope for Blue Jays fans was that he could channel what they saw from him all of October. It was as if he just flipped the switch and said, nobody's going to stop me. The hope was he could channel that more in the regular season, but not yet. Just straight away short. 2 ground ball outs for Blake Trinan. Jesus Sanchez. Trinan, who's looking for a bounce back season. 2.29 ERA first 5 years with the team. What he did in the postseason in 24. Look out. Sanchez loses the bat. Sticky spray. So now an 0-1 pitch. A little high, and Will Smith's going to challenge it. Try to get the job done with the frame job, but Dan Rizal wasn't biting, so he'll go to the computer. And a little high. Might as well give it a shot, though. 2 challenges still to use. One of them left now. Count on Sanchez. 1 ball, 1 strike. Okamoto's on deck. Dodgers a 3-1 lead here in the 8th. Sinker to the inside corner. Strike 2.
Front door sinker. That was a nasty one.
Sanchez digs it out center field. Pages is there. And Blake Trinan's got a 1-2-3-8. Ohtani makes his 2nd start of the season. First one pretty good. 6 scoreless innings on just 1 hit. And now he'll pitch here for the first time since Game 7. And you know he'll have a little added motivation from not being at his best that day. Dodgers lead this game 3-1. To the 9th inning we go. Dylan Cease will be on the other side. Another excellent pitching matchup in this series. If Dodgers can hang on to this, they'll be looking for a perfect road trip. Jeff Hoffman, who gave up the home run to Miguel Rojas in the 9th inning in Game 7. Bottom of the Dodger lineup, which has been the best part of the lineup tonight. Strike 1 on Max Muncy. So all those months go by. Does his best to move on. Opening day here. Hoffman on for the save. 1 out in the 9th inning. Up by a run. Gives up a game-tying home run. It is going to be hard for him to live down in the eyes of these fans what happened in Game 7. And in a lot of ways, this year has resembled last postseason in that he's been dominant outside of that big moment. He struck out more than half of the hitters that he'd faced. And it was the same thing last October and in the lead up to it. This guy was awesome. But in the same way, nobody really remembers Miguel Rojas didn't hit a ton during the regular season. They just remember the moment. It flips around in the case of Hoffman. 2-2 on Muncy. Rojas said when he hit it, the first thought that he had was, I got to get to second. And then it went out, and he said, I didn't know what to think. It was just a blend of pure joy and a little bit of relief, and then immediately started to think about all the people that he loves and all the people that helped get him there. Rounded third, found his wife Mariana in the stands, made eye contact with her. Hoffman's 2-2. Gets Muncy swinging for the first out of the ninth.
Miguel hit it off a really good pitcher that was throwing the ball really well. I mean, his postseason ERA was a 1.46. I mean, he was on a roll. Miggy picked on a breaking ball that stayed near the middle of the plate. The height was pretty good for the pitcher, but the location in the middle, Miggy had enough to get it out of here.
Here's Kim. Double, a walk, and 2 runs scored. The 8 and 9 hitters for the Dodgers driving the bus tonight. They've got 3 of their 6 hits, and they've scored all 3 runs between Kim and Freeland. Ooh, I thought he was going to challenge, and he might have gotten away with it had he. Edwin Diaz getting ready for the last of the 9th inning when Okamoto, Clement, and Lucas will come up. This, the anniversary of the very first save in Major League Baseball. 1969 opening day in Cincinnati. Dodger Bill Singer credited with the first save. Wave and a miss. 2 gone in the 9th. Bill was actually a starter and a good one at that. He was an all-star starter that year. He only had 1 other relief appearance, but Walter Alston told him on the bus to the ballpark, today I'm just going to ask Don Drysdale for 6 innings. What do you think about coming in and pitching the final 3? Said fine, went in, did it, had a great season as a starter after that. Didn't dawn on him that a save was a thing or that he had picked up the first for a couple years, he said. Ball on Freeland. Famous for that. Also famous here in Toronto is Bill Singer for throwing the first pitch in franchise history. The franchise launched in 1977. One on Freeland. Two hits, a run knocked in, a run scored for Freeland. On this 1-1 from Hoffman. Chops it to first. Vlad's got it. Race to the bag. Throw behind Hoffman. And now the throw's into right field. Oh my goodness. Freeland will stop at second. Sanchez will load up and throw it as far as he can. Face palm.
Vlad just doesn't stop his twisting motion as he throws. Looks like the turf monster got him, hooked his spikes, and then Valenzuela just throws it away and thinking he could pick off Freeland. It was a little bit like a Little League play right here.
And that shot right there of Vlad is the Blue Jays in 2026. That's a hit and an error. And so a 3-hit game for Freeland. They put Ohtani on with first base open and face off with Kyle Tucker instead. There's some big insurance sitting out there. I figure this Blue Jays offense is not going to stay down forever. Yeah, just a 2-run lead. Tucker today is 0 for 4. He struck out 3 times. Gotten rid of those strikeouts first 4 games of this road trip, but returning in a big way tonight. Base hit to right field for Tucker. Here comes Freeland. Throw is on the way. It is not in time. Dodgers take advantage of the 2-out sloppiness from the Blue Jays. Kyle Tucker drives in Alex Freeland, and it's 4-1.
strikes on a low pitch, elevates it, and does a real nice job staying down and through that, getting in the air, hit this line drive. You're going on contact with 2 outs, but this was hit so hard, it was going to be at a play at the plate. But Freeland's speed and the way he cut the bases got him in there.
Pop up off of the bat of Will Smith into shallow right field. Out goes Vlad Jr. He's got it. And the inning is over. Dodgers get their first run since the 5th, and so take a 4-1 lead to the bottom of the 9th for Edwin Diaz. Horns blaring, you know what that sound means. Edwin Diaz coming on looking for the save. 4 innings, he's given up just 1 hit. 3 for 3 in save situations. Okamoto, Clement, and Schneider coming up with a 4-1 lead.
Coming into a bullpen situation where Alex Vesia walked the first hitter, but then 6 batters in a row have been retired by his teammates, looking to extend that streak for 3 more.
So the only reliever that's given up a run the last 3 days is Miguel Rojas. Otherwise, bullpen has 10 innings, and just the 1 run. So Diaz looking to close out a 5th consecutive win for the Dodgers and a 6th consecutive loss for the Blue Jays. Okamoto has looked like their best hitter in this series. 1 for 3 with a double today. First one from Diaz. Upstairs, ball 1. Ball and a strike. 1 of each. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 fastball, 1 slider. Back to the slider, and it's 1-2.
He makes it look easy because he's very precise. His location is really good.
Strikes him out. 3 consecutive sliders.
And remember the order of those sliders. It's like good, better, best. We've seen breaking balls from other pitchers on the Dodgers where we've talked about, okay, threw a good one, but the next one is not as good. It's worse. You don't train the hitter to hit the next best one. It's going to be over the plate. You train him to swing at the one that's going to be wide.
Ball on Clement. You also, though, see guys try to do that, but then overdo it. And it's sitting right there on a tee.
Got to be in that same window, just slightly farther out on the pane of glass.
Two and on Clement. That insurance run in the top of the 9th giving him a little more wiggle room here. Jays with work to do before things get too shaky. Fastball a little high. 3-0 on Clement. Schneider's next, then Jimenez. Top of the order still 5 batters away. That's a strike. He walked him. Davis Schneider came off of the bench, drew a walk in the 7th inning. Started him with a slider, got a strike. 10 years in the big leagues for Edwin Diaz. Only Kenley Jansen more saves in that time. This is the anniversary of the 1st. Slider again. Schneider takes this one away. Count evens 1-1. Only Josh Hader has struck out hitters at a higher rate than Edwin Diaz has. The heartbreaking knee injury in the WBC 2023 took him some time to recapture his form after that. His ERA the next year was 3.5. Last year, though, back down to 163, best in the National League. Even though the velocity not quite what it was before the knee injury, the fastball in a lot of ways has been even better. His 1-2. Dodgers last year, if you're poking holes, outfield wasn't that productive. They go get the top outfielder in Kyle Tucker. Bullpen ranked 21st. Ninth inning, shaky. They go out and get one of the best closers in baseball. Checked his swing, 2-2. Edwin said he had the inside scoop. He felt like his brother Alexis was with the Dodgers last year, raved about the experience. He's good buddies with Kike Hernandez, playing on Team Puerto Rico. Fires 2-2, backs up, and a challenge coming here from Will Smith. This is an instance where ABS
this slips out of Edwin's hand, starts to back up a little bit, but might catch enough.
There it is. You're rarely going to get that call from the umpire because of the glove reaching like that, not hitting your spot.
Los Angeles has one remaining challenge.
But the computers don't care where you were aiming. Catches the inside corner, and the Jays are down to their last out. Runner goes from first. Strike one on Andres Gimenez. Who was 1 for 3 in this game. Scored the Blue Jays' lone run in the 6th. Diaz 0-1. Poked foul, strike 2. And the Jays down to their last strike. Stays alive. And it's been hard to put away in this game. That at-bat where he eventually came in to score in the 6th is one of the more impressive ones of the night against Yamamoto. 8 pitches, fouled off several before getting that single. Diaz will try to finish him again. Lays off, ball 1.
Love to see him get here, get one more out very quickly. Day game tomorrow, a 3 o'clock start, 3:05 start. He can go back to back because we got an off day the next day.
That's a base hit to right for Gimenez. Blue Jays to get the tying run to the plate. (4-1) game. And Tyler Heineman will pinch hit for the rookie Valenzuela. Heineman is a good offensive catcher. Great when you consider him as a backup catcher. This series at 385. He hit 290 last year over the course of a full season. So down to this tying run at the plate, 2 outs, 9th inning. Diaz throws. Gimenez runs, strike 1.
Heineman yesterday in the 9th inning was the pitcher. That was kind of a laugher. Well, this is not a laughing situation.
Walking a single in this inning. 0-1 pitch. Gimenez runs again on strike 2. And Will Smith has taken a couple foul balls tonight. Now the plan is that he catches both these games. He's got that day game coming tomorrow, and he's going to have a couple bruises for it. Oh man, it's off the same area. I think the first one kind of missed the padding, looked like more on the toe. That one the top of his foot.
Veteran closer explaining to the veteran catcher, since their relationship is building, what he wants to go with.
2 on, 2 out in the 9th. 0-2 pitch. Got him, and that's the ball game. Diaz locks it down. The Dodgers 5-0 on this road trip. And they've handed the Blue Jays a 6th consecutive defeat.
Goes fastball in, trying to bring it in the inside corner. It ends up down the middle, still beats him to the spot.
Dodgers got 2 runs in the 3rd inning, single runs in the 5th and in the 9th. Bottom of the order, scoring all 4 runs in this game. 2 from Kim, 2 from Freeland. And Yamamoto gets another win north of the border. He's won his last 4 games here. For Hershiser, Kirsten Watson, the rest of our crew, Joe Davis saying so long from Toronto. Series wraps up tomorrow. Shohei Ohtani toes the rubber against Dylan Cease. Stay tuned for Access Sportsnet Dodgers, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.